Hey guys, look what we got on the channel today. Oh man, I picked up an R1. It's my first modern sports bike. The Hayabusa's not really modern, you know, it's a little older. So this is an 09 R1. We're gonna take a look at this today. We're gonna do a walk around, talk about some of the specs and some interesting things that I found out that aren't talked about much in other reviews. And then we're gonna listen to the exhaust on this, and this has a TOCE exhaust, so holy loud. So we'll listen to that here in just a few seconds. Flip the camera around. All right, here we are, guys, with the 09 R1. I'll give you guys a quick walk around here. I just washed it and clay barred it. Did a little quick mist and shine because I couldn't find any wax. So we'll do a quick walk around. This bike has about 25,000 miles on it, and it's not perfect, as you can see, but it's in pretty good shape. One of the previous owners put some heat wrap around the exhaust there. It's got some older frame sliders on it right there. And this is the first year of the Crossplane crank, which is badged actually on this right here, Crossplane i4, right? All right, let's get into it front to back like we normally do, and we'll listen to her. All right, so we got dual front disc brakes, 6-pot calipers. You see the 3 there. There's also 3 in the back side. Some people don't know, a lot of people do. 6-pot calipers per side. And I believe these are about 310. Yeah, these are 310 millimeter disc brakes in the front here. Non-ABS since it's 2009. Wheels in pretty good shape there. The tires are Q3 Plus Dunlop Sport Maxes. I don't know if you can see it, there's a Sport Max badge up there, but these are Q3 Pluses, and man, am I impressed with these tires. That's going to be a separate review on the road though. The headlights up here, these are twin projector headlights. Interesting little tidbit here I found out about these is there's only one bulb or projector in each, and so high beams are completely open projector, and then low beams, it actually has like a flap or something that like closes here that stops the beam from going so high and wide and blinding people in front of you. But yeah, it's just one projector. They are pretty good. They're not as good as my Speed Triple. I had 19 Speed Triple, and those had really good headlights. In fact, I think the Busa's headlights, the Busa's in the garage there, I think the Busa's headlights are actually better than this one, the 01 Busa. Strange. This bike has, previous owner put Vortex clutch and brake levers on. Both work pretty good. Got Vortex rear sets. Got them adjusted down to the lower setting because it's already high enough for the old legs as it is. So there is the shifter there, not a quick shifter in the 09, of course, just standard shift. Works good. So this Crossplane motor here has about 185 horse or so to the crank and about 85 foot-pounds of torque. And to the wheel, I haven't had this dynoed or anything, of course, but I would say probably mid 160s to the wheel. And that's stock. I believe if you unrestrict these and you do some work to them, you can get up to around 200 if these are tuned properly, a little over, from what I've heard. Now it's interesting because like the R6s and other 600 class sport bikes, this doesn't have double the horse. Those have like 120 or something like that, 115 at the crank. This has 185. But the torque on those guys, on the well, not little, but on the 600s, you got what, 45 foot-pounds of torque, 40, 45, something like that. This has 85, so this has double the torque when you move up to 1,000 cc. So you got to be careful. That's why people say don't have beginners buy these bigger bikes, because very twitchy throttle. You got that much torque, you got to be careful because you get all kinds of front wheel lift on this, especially on the older bikes with no electronics. There's no traction control, there's no wheel lift sensor, and you got to be real careful with this. I'm real careful. Also, a lot of torque coming out of corners. You got to be careful not to spin the rear wheel out and lose traction, because this has some kind of a rudimentary traction control system, I believe. I forget what Yamaha calls it, but it's something to help a little bit with this, but it's not a true traction control like the new bikes have, as far as I know. But yeah, so you got to be careful with these higher torque motors, but they're fun. And the bikes weigh a little bit more. This is about a 450-pound bike or so, about 455 wet or so. And the rear exhaust has been changed, so this one's probably maybe 440, something like that. I mean, sorry, like 445. You might take off like 9 pounds for an exhaust, or 6. It just depends on how heavy the originals are. But yeah, you can feel a little bit of the weight. It's a little top heavy. It's not as top heavy as the Busa though. The Busa feels more top heavy than this, probably because that bike also weighs 550 pounds. But this just feels kind of top heavy like that, but it's not real bad. It's not, interesting thing, my CB1000R, that is the same weight as this, about 450 or so, maybe a little more, maybe 460. But that bike, the weight is more towards the bottom. So when you go to pick it up, it doesn't feel like much of anything. This one's a little more top heavy. But all right, let's continue on here. Up here we've got your brake reservoir, just bled and replaced all the front and rear brake, there it is, fluid with liquid moly last night. And we're gonna be testing that today. Here's what the cluster looks like on the 09. You got the big analog tach and the digital speedometer and gauges, dummy lights, all those kind of such things there. And it looks like the previous owner, if you notice this wear here, if you see this on bikes, it's probably because the previous owner had the keys or a keychain or some kind of a hard lanyard here, and it wore the paint off there. Very sad times. Don't do that to your bike. Don't put that on there if you can help it. All right. Moving on around to the back here, we just got done washing it. I just did the chain wax and clean and wax here with some mold tool chain paste, which I like because it doesn't seem to fling as much. Also, pit bull stands are awesome. Little plug for pit bull stands. They're expensive, but they work great. Here's the rear shock in here. I adjusted it down a bit here for a little more softness because it was hard on my first couple rides. We're gonna go out and test that, but that's fully adjustable right there. Rear shock, and you got your compression up there up top, you can see right there. Yep. And the other adjuster is there. I believe that's rebound. Oop, out of focus. I believe that's rebound down there. Could be wrong though. Leave a comment. Leave a comment in the comment section if I'm wrong, because you guys like to correct me, and I learn a lot from you guys in the comment sections too when I'm wrong about something. So perfectly fine with that. There's the Q3 badge plus right there. Chain is in pretty good shape. Doesn't really need to be replaced or anything. Sprockets are in pretty good shape for how many miles. Sprocket may have been replaced, I'm not sure. That could be the stock one though, but sprocket teeth are in pretty good shape there for 25,000 miles, pretty good. And these are brand new tires, should have mentioned that. These are, the date code on these is like, I think the back one's date code is like 21, the front one date code is 22, so they are new rubber. Not just new as in like a lot of tread left, but new as an actual year new. Sometimes you buy these used bikes like 09s and such like that. Yeah, sometimes you buy these used bikes and you get tires that are like 10 years old on them, and guys are like, oh yeah, the rubber's great, right? The rubber's brand new. And it is, there's plenty of tread, but then you look at the date code, make sure you look at your date codes. They're a little rectangular, what's the right word, elliptical box that has the week and the year on it, and it'll be on one or the other side of the tires. And then that will tell you how old the tire is. If the tire's over 5, 6, 7 years old, might be time for a new tire. Could be unsafe to ride on, could be fine if you want to take the risk. I've done it before, but that is up to you. But then you can tell the seller, hey, this needs new rubber, even though it looks new, it's really old, and maybe you can get a little bit of a better price, maybe, unless they're already really priced down. So, all right, we need to get this guy started up. Probably get a new rear seat for this guy. Little damage there, might go on eBay, something, grab a new rear seat. Here's that TOCE exhaust I was talking about. It's a 4 into 1 into 2 into 4. So, all right, we're gonna fire it up. Holy cow. Unbelievably loud. Let's go over here. Enough of that. You almost need earplugs to just sit and rev this bike like as close as I was. That was really, where am I? That was really rough, you guys. That was really rough on the ears. So this is probably the loudest sport bike that I've had, I would say. I mean, that exhaust, is absolutely no joke. And riding this at night, like after 10, 11, 12 p.m., like I feel bad riding this at night, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. Maybe some of you guys don't care and stuff, but I'm the kind of guy that doesn't like super loud exhaust. I like a good rumble, like maybe the Yoshimura on the Hayabusa, but this bike, like, So if I'm going to keep this for a length of time, I may or may not. I may get a ZX6R instead. We'll see, because this is a lot of power for me. But that's a we'll talk about that on the first impressions ride. But yeah, so I might buy DB silencers from TOCE for this if I'm going to keep it for a while and ride it around, because it is rough. You got to wear plugs when you ride this bike. You should anyway, because wind noise is the main cause of hearing damage in motorcycles. But yeah, with this bike, you definitely need plugs. It might be louder than the I don't know if that's going to be, yeah, it'll probably be in the channel before this review goes out, but this is probably louder than the M109R, and that's a loud bike, but this is like the pitch of it is rough. So anyway, the exhaust sounds cool, the Crossplane sounds great, and I'm not complaining about the sound. The sound is amazing. It's just the volume of it you got to be careful with, but this bike sounds incredible. I mean, the Crossplane sounds, it's got a special sound, and also riding it, like, it feels different than the other bike too. That's another, it's going to be, I'm going to talk about that more in the first impressions video, but this doesn't feel like a normal inline four, not at all. It doesn't feel like the Hayabusa at all. The Crossplane feels more like the Ducati I had or something. It's just weird, especially the low end. It's cool. I mean, it just doesn't feel like your standard inline four at all. Not to me. It just doesn't. It's just completely different. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this content. We'll have some more R1 content coming up, some more Hayabusa content coming up, some more M109R content coming up, I believe. And yeah, I got to do that full ride review on the CB1000R as well. So we got a lot of bikes in the stable right now, but we'll probably be selling them or trading them and stuff and trying some new stuff once we get the reviews and everything done, and or keeping the ones we like, right? Hopefully. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching again. We'll see you in the next one. Appreciate you guys. Bye, everybody. Ooh.